Hello, today we're going to show you how to make a cute little lantern for electric tea lights using recycled materials. Let's get started. So we're going to take our carton and we're going to cut it roughly in half. And to be honest, if you keep the top half, you can use that again for another project. So the easiest way to cut it in half is to get something sharp like these little scissors and cut round. You can use a Stanley knife as well if that's easier, and then cut all the way around. To be honest, it doesn't have to be super neat. This is a fun recycle craft and it's not always about it being perfect. There we go. So we cut all the way around. Now I'm going to stand them up and just give this a dry on the inside. I have rinsed them already. I just want to make sure it's super dry. There we go, that'll do. Now, as I've said, keep this half. This makes a lovely little fairy house. Just cut a little door in it, paint it, job done. Wonderful. Now, let's get the other one. When you're making your lanterns, I would say now is the best time to cut and then you paint it. So I'm going to get a biro and I'm going to draw some designs on it. So I think I might have a sort of circular flower. I'm just going to get a circle in. Now, you can see this isn't very neat, is it? But that's fine because I'm going to be painting over it afterwards. So don't worry about making mistakes. Just get a design that you like. I'm going to make some petal sort of shapes. Literally making it up as we go along. Then I'm going to make sure that they're even before I cut them. Like I said, you're kind of just getting a rough feel for that. That petal's a bit too big, so I'm going to make it smaller in a minute. There we go. Make sure you've got lines in between because we're going to stick some tissue paper on that. So you don't want them touching the petals. You want them to be close, but not too close because you kind of need a little frame for your tissue paper to go on. So let's see, I think that works for me. Does that work? Yeah. If you're not sure, just start again. So now I'm going to take my sharp little scissors. I actually have some special little craft scissors, but nail scissors are really good to cut this sort of thing out as well. And like I said before, a Stanley knife actually works as well. Here we go, cut out a little circle. Am I still happy with my petals? I think so. So I'm going to try and stick to the inside of my petals because I do want those little edges for, like a little frame for the tissue paper to stick to. Like so. Right, so I'm going to carry on doing that. So now I've cut all my four sides out. I've got a nice flower here, a little heart there, another flower, and the same heart again on this side. It is time to paint. Now the best paints to go on this sort of carton, because it's got like a plastic sheen, is either an acrylic paint or an enamel. So enamels and acrylics both work quite well. You might need two coats. So don't worry about it if you do. I'm going to just get this underneath so I don't get any on my surface, and I'm going to get painting. I've decided to use the enamels paints today, mainly because I quite like this purple and I fancied using it, and I'm lazy, so I paint straight onto the box. So here you can see with this enamel it shines through, the pattern's shining through a little bit, so we'll need 2 layers, but that is fine. It just means you need to let it dry and have another go. Another thing with enamels paint, it actually dries really quickly, much quicker than acrylics, so doing 2 layers isn't a problem. And if you're doing a whole set of these, you basically can do all the first layers one go, let them dry, and then go around and do the second layer. I'm going to go all the way around. Actually, you know what, I'm going to hold it and then put it down because I want to paint the bottom as well, because if these are hanging ones, it's nice to paint the bottom. So finish this off. So the first layer is dry. I'm going to show you. So you can see the writing through it. So what I will do is give another layer and then it's ready to decorate and the tissue paper. So now it's all dry. We have all our 4 sides done. It's time to add some tissue paper. Now I've got some recycled tissue paper here that I got from some gift wrapping. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out some rectangles that will slot into my carton. Let's move that over. Let's just check that this has got the right size. To be honest, you don't have to add tissue paper at this point, but I do think it's quite nice because it just adds a little bit of colour and kind of neatens it all up a little bit. So let's add the tissue paper. I've cut 4 out. And like I said, it's lovely when you do recycle. So I use, if I get gift wrap with tissue paper on it, I always save it. Or when I get a bunch of flowers, which isn't very often, with the tissue paper, often flowers are wrapped in tissue paper, I save that. So there's lots of ways you can recycle, when you get things into your home. So I'm just going to put lots of PVA glue on the inside of my carton. And the reason I use PVA glue again is because you've got this sort of plastic layer to your carton, and PVA will stick to it a little bit better. But to be honest, tissue paper is so easy to glue, you could probably get away with a glue stick, like a Pritt stick. So I'm just adding glue all the way around the back. Oops, some of it's coming out the front. It's all right. We don't mind a little bit of messy. We'll tidy that up in just a minute. So I'm just getting glue nicely spread. Make sure you get it on the little ridges where you want your tissue paper to stick. It's not an exact science. It's just enough to hold your paper in place. Make sure there's none squirting out the front. And then gently take your sheets of tissue and line them up. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm just kind of sliding them in like that. And then slide in the next one. It is good to check that your pieces of paper are the right size before you try and slide it in. Otherwise, once you've got glue on your fingers, it can get a bit messy. And I did check these before. There we go. Now, because of the tissue paper especially, you don't want to put real candles in here. Electric tea lights is what these are for. Because obviously tissue paper could catch fire. So now I'm going to let this dry. I'm going to wipe off any excess glue. This glue dries clear, so it doesn't matter if there's a little bit of excess glue. Just making sure that it's all nicely stuck down. And then once it's dry, you're ready to add some final decorations and a bit of string. So we're ready to add our string now. All you need to do is get a little hole punch. I've got a single one here. You can use obviously something sharp that works for you. Then align it to where you want the hole to be, like so. I'm going to line it, make sure it's about right. So make my little holes. So I wanted to put the holes there first. Then I wanted to add a little bit of, I've got some lace here just to add a tiny little decor at the top. I just wanted the holes there first because I didn't want the lace to get in the way. So I'm just going to glue the lace on, but of course you can use ribbons, you can put gems on, you can put stickers on, pretty stickers. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue for my lace. So anything you want, or to be honest, you can just leave it there the way they are. I think they look quite nice the way they are. But it's always interesting, I think, to sort of show other additional things you can add. And I quite like lace. I'm going to add some lace at the top and at the bottom. Oh, it keeps falling over. Like so. Here we go. Let's add that. Going round and round. I think that's quite pretty. And then a little bit more. Cut the end off. Like so. I'm going to add another one at the bottom and then add my string. I'm going to double it up. I've got some lovely baker's twine. Make it double because I think I quite like, I want it to look a bit thicker. So I'm going to double up my baker's twine. Thread it through the holes. so. Not. And there you have a cute little lantern made from an old carton. Anyway, hope to see you here again soon and that you've enjoyed this video, and do get crafty and recycling and have lots of fun. Bye bye.